guys, girls, maybe. Welcome back to DMAC Kustom's YouTube channel. Back on the Area 51 project today. Working on making replacement ones of these, because these ones are like Scodiers and I can't use the heater that was on the other side. I'll explain in a minute. So I bought some stainless. I'm going to make some new ones out of stainless and see how that goes. Hopefully I've got enough curvature and stuff to do what I want to do. So let's have a look. Say hello to my little friend. That'll add about 20 kilos to the front of the car. 17 probably. Oh, 15 maybe. As you noticed, I don't have the old 6 in here anymore. The original heater box used to sit here, the core, and had a ducting pipe, which I just discovered I'm missing anyway, that connected it to these kind of vents on the firewall. There's the old heater box, which is quite a heavy little unit actually, and it's got the core inside it. And this sits in, well, used to sit in here somewhere, somehow. I'll try and... Sorry. Used to sit in there somehow like that, I think. Which, yeah, too close to the engine, so I'm not going to use it. Nor good, as they say. God damn it. So if anyone's still running a 6 and they want a heater box and they live close to me, I've got one that will be for sale at some point. Don't know what the core's like, but it's in there. So anyway, and on this side it's just a cold air intake from a hole down here that feeds cold air into the car. And on this side I've got the full piece of pipe, but it's pretty beat up, pretty banged around and pretty ugly. So my plan is to make just 2 identical but mirrored cold air intake things, just so, you know, because I'm putting a different heater in this, not putting AC in it, just putting a different heater for those colder winter Tauranga days. Yeah, just kind of still want to have those, on those hot days, if you open up that vent, you can just get some cold air flowing into the cab, as well as having the windies down and stuff like that. So that's my plan. So I just got to try and figure out how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to hold it all in there and stuff. So I've got some 4-inch stainless pipe and a 90-degree stainless elbow, which I hopefully will be able to slice it into 4 pieces, which will give me, I calculated I needed basically 45 degrees of curvage, but 2 lots of 22.5 per side. I could be wrong, but that's my plan anyway. So I'm going to open these up and see what I can figure out how to make something. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to open this up and have a play and make some stainless and do some more bad stainless welding that's defined by its grinding and polishing and stuff afterwards. So let's get a knife and cut this open. Dodge Ram. Okay, so this is the old one. As you can see, she's got some battle scars and yeah, just not really worth my time trying to straighten it out. And I don't know, I don't really like the look of it anyway. She's got a bit of skatey surface rust and things and dents. So my plan is to replicate this out of stainless tube to a degree, sort of. But it'll be a little bit different because I'm not really wanting to make it exactly the same as that anyway. So I've got a couple of meters of 4-inch stainless tube and one 90-degree elbow, which I'm going to slice it in half and then slice each in half again to get a couple of different angles, which I'm hoping I've got enough, but I'm not sure on the mathematics of that yet, but we can get it started at least anyway. If I have to get another elbow, I will get one. Yeah, so I'll start kind of doing some measuring and playing around with the design, and with my plan. When we say it's a design, I'm not designing it, I'm just kind of replicating it out of a different material, so but it, you know, probably end up being changed around somewhat anyway. So right, okay, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to start with cutting up this elbow just to see whether I've got the right amount of stuff. To work out where I'm going to cut it, I was trying to figure out how to sort of do some sort of semi-accurate measuring on the inside of the curve and stuff like that, and I sort of figured I'd mark off 10mm increments on the piece of tape, and that'll give me a kind of a measure. So it's a little bit more accurate than the micrometer, but it might work. Also, I worked out that this mandrel bend starts about 30mm in from each end. It starts right about there. You can see like tooling marks and stuff and whatnot. So this is straight. So this, I'm starting my measurement, getting my center from. I'll count off these and start off by putting a center, and then I'll split the difference and give me my next two pieces. Make sense? Hope so. Hey guys, just want to interrupt this video just quickly just to ask you politely to subscribe if you haven't done so already. That'd be awesome. Sweet. On with your scheduled programming. So here it is, my plan for my cuts. Now I don't have a bandsaw, so I've got to use my eyeballs a little bit to try and get these cuts kind of straightish. I've tape lines and that on there with little arrows telling me which side to cut, because I've done this before, put tape down and cut the wrong side. So that's my plan. Now I don't know, it should be roughly within roughly within some sort of measuring of each other. It's not bad. Take a few random measures around the circumference of this tube, and yeah, so that's the trickiest. I'll get this out of the way first, because if I cock this up, this is going to stop me in my tracks on this particular project until I get another elbow or buy the correct angled elbows. I was cheaping out. You could buy the elbows that I wanted and the angles that I wanted, but it meant I would have had to buy 4 of them at like $38 each or something like this. So I bought one at $38 and I'm just going to cut it up and weld it. $38. I bought one at $38, and so I'm just going to cut it up and weld it and hope I get my cuts accurate enough to do what I want to do. And the other cuts on the straight pipe are just straight cuts, so they can still go wrong, but they should be a little bit easier than trying to figure this out. So I'm going to get into this first. Alrighty, that's my elbow cut up. I did actually kind of get my angles and stuff wrong for the old working out what I needed and stuff, but I think I can still make it work. Well, probably not, because I couldn't even figure out simple angles now to make this work with the materials I've got. I've got to work out more complicated angles, which I'll be more inclined to just do by eye again, using the old micrometer. So yeah, but I've got to do some figuring, and some more cutting. So I'll check in a minute again. Okay, so this is what I've kind of got in mind with all my pieces cut. I had a brainwave, and rather than doing a whole bunch of weird angles like I was thinking of doing on these pieces, which would have just complicated things way more, I just made this piece longer. So essentially this is it. Down here, probably can't see, but this actually fits into this nice little round hole real nicely. Up here I was thinking of using I was thinking of something like that, some 4-inch rubber collar and some nice stainless clamps to clamp it all on there. Still got to figure out a way to mount it to the inner fender, and I'll clock up these angles a bit better to suit. At the moment this one needs to kind of go that way a little bit, and yeah, I'm going to make this extension about 20mm longer, and other than that, that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. I've put it up on the other side and it seems to fit better than this side as it is, so I might make this one the passenger side, and then I'll cut all the new pieces to make for this side, and then I can start tacking it together and hopefully make something that works. Although on this side, it's really hard to see, down here there isn't a circle. After all that time I spent doing rust repairs in this area, I might actually make this a circle and fill in the extra bits. So I may just weld a patch in there and then cut a clean circle into it to fit that 4-inch tube into, and then yeah, I have to make up bracketry or something to bolt it all to this side. But you see where I'm going with that? I think it might work. So I'm going to cut all my other pieces and then sort of tack it all together and take from there. Okay, so that's all my bits cut for the other side. That's just an offcut. These bits here, and those, and those, and those. Now I've got a dusty mess, so I'm going to put some tools away and clean all that up, put some batteries on charge, and then get ready to start cleaning this stuff up to tack it together. Exciting stuff. Hey guys, welcome back. Day 2 on this cold air intake project for the aircon thing. I don't even know really what to call it. It's not really a cold air intake. It kind of is, because it's just for cold air into the cabin, but it's not a cold air intake like kind of air intake for the engine motor. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is where we got to yesterday. Got the first side kind of welded up. Started grinding back some of my ugly welding. Actually managed to pull off a couple of quite nice fusion welds, but it was about 50-50 as usual. Key thing I think was fitment. The ones that seemed to fit really nicely in mock-up welded much nicer than the ones where I had a bit of gappage and stuff going on, so hence more battery went flat. But anyway, hence more clean up on the shittier welds, and this sort of stuff won't take as much to kind of clean it up and polish it up a bit nicer. But yeah, some of it just went bad. Just lack of experience, know-how, knowledge, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes when I'm TIG welding, it's just like, yeah, this is it, and then just a fraction of a second, and the next thing I've blown a big hole in it, and then I have to concentrate on trying to fill in that hole, and then I panic, and it just all turns to shit. It's best to just stop, I think, when I'm doing that. But anyway, might carry on grinding this stuff back, and then start putting the second side together. Okay, so that's number 2 tacked up. Managed to couldn't get it to fusion weld in there. I keep blowing some ends out of it, but I'm just going to go and make sure that it's going to fit where I want it to fit, and then proceed to weld it all up. spend a little bit more time trying to get a snugger fit on my joins, so hopefully it'll weld together nicer than the first side. Hey, how's it going? Well, that's where she's gonna go. So I had to get the die grinder in and take out a little bit in there to get it to fit through that hole, but I might shorten this a little bit more anyway. But yeah, so that's essentially where it's going to sit. The factory air intake that goes on the other side, the cold air intake thing for the kind of just cold cabin air sort of thing, they had some little bracketry welded on there to sort of hold them in place as well, which I've still got to figure something out yet on how I'm going to do that for this, because I mean it's going to be clamped up at this end up here with a rubbery hose and some big flash stainless clamps of some sort. Yeah, just how I've got to, maybe just some other way of supporting it so it's not all kind of resting on that rubber thingy jig. Is it still going to move at the moment? No, so it needs to sit a little bit further out so that vent can open and close. Ooh, look at that ugly as, but so I'll make up some kind of mounting system for it somehow. Not quite sure yet, but I'll weld all this up first. Hey, welcome back again. Pretty much welded up all of this one. Heaps better than last time, having a tighter fit on all my joins and stuff like that. A lot more fusion welding. I'm quite happy with some of this. Some of it I still were blowing through and whatnot, but I don't know why, just maybe hesitating or couldn't really see or whatever. There's a little bit of a divot here, so I'm going to try a little experiment with just try and fill that out, so because this bit will be on the top, a bit more visible. So once I sort of grind it back and polish it up and stuff, that little divot will show. So what I'm going to try and do is fill that out, make it look better, hopefully. Okay, cool, right. Put this stuff away and then get into some grinding. Made a mess. Anyway, here's where we're at. So I've got both my pieces all kind of ground up and stuff. I haven't got any finer flapper discs, sanding discs or something at the moment to try and tidy them up more and polish them and stuff, but that's essentially where they're going to sit, using the original ducts, which I've just noticed one of them sits slightly higher than the other side. I'm not quite sure why, but probably because of the way the heater all lined up, but I think that'll be alright. We may have a big engine cover over the whole thing anyway. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, just had to grind a little bit out of here so this will poke through, and this bit here I'll actually, when I take all this apart again, I'll now know I've got to do some more work in here and fill that in a bit and find some kind of mesh to put on the front of these, stop leaves and bugs and birds and shit getting in. Yeah, now I've just got to figure out a way to secure them better. Not quite sure what I'm going to do there yet. How much securing do they need? This side here, there's a little dimple on the inner fender. I was just wondering whether I just drill through there and put a riv nut into this and basically bolt it there, and then maybe make a bracket to bolt up into here. This side, I don't know, maybe similar. Oh, it's got a bit clearer. It's a whole different shape here, but maybe make some kind of bracket that maybe holds it up here, and then something else for up that end. You reckon? I reckon something like that. I'll figure it out. Next, figure out what kind of bracket to make. It's a bit more discreet rather than some big clamp around thing that would be like a kind of pipe fitting thing that would look a bit rude, but it crossed my mind, to be fair. But got another idea now. Let's have a look. Alright, here's my plan for a mounting bracket. Got these offcuts of the tube. I'm going to slice them in half and use the kind of existing radius and then fold them back, flatten out some legs on there. So we'll use the existing radius that'll kind of like tuck up under the thing inside there. If this makes any sense whatsoever. It might make more sense when you see it done. So we'll sort of fold back, flatten out some feet on there, and then that'll kind of tuck in underneath and put a couple of little plug welds or something in to hold it onto the underside of the air duct thing. That's my plan anyway. So, cha-ching. Alright, I suppose I should find some gloves again, clean it up a little bit. Oh, lunch is ready. Alrighty, like my new safety glasses, 3-pack for $10. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so this is my plan for my little bracket. Still needs a bit of shaping and stuff, but that's the plan. I'm going to put weld this with a couple of little holes drilled in here for some plug welds on the back, and then I'll mark and drill and put some rib nuts through this inner fender. I'm thinking I might just I don't know whether it needs another mounting point down there or what, but I was thinking of drilling a hole through that little dimple thing under there and just putting a bolt through into the actual pipe. Still might do that yet, and then maybe some kind of locking screw at the front there, I don't know, something like that, just to keep it rigid so it doesn't become one of those things that rattles and you can't figure out where the rattle's coming from. Anyway, back to what I was doing. I've got to try and mark this because I'm not going to be able to get in here to tack it in place, so I'm going to mark it as accurately rough as I can, and then I'll take it out and weld this into place somehow. Hopefully that's enough, and take it out and have a look. One of my favourite tools ever is this rib nut gun. As you've watched some of the other videos, you may have heard me going on about it. It's real easy to use. Just with these aluminium rib nuts, you've got to be a little bit careful you don't just rip the guts out of them. They're a little bit softer. There we go. Cái ba mày stuck. Okay, so now she's stuck in there. It's just slightly too low to line up my bolts. There we go. Just took a little bit of persuading with this giant screwdriver. That one. It's always great when the holes still line up after you've done stuff. So I don't know if you noticed, but I already ran ahead and drilled a hole in that little dimple thing under there. So now I can mark it with my handy dandy pen and then pull all this back out again, drill a hole, put a rivet nut in there, and then I'll probably bolt this in and leave it alone while I mock up all the other stuff and then polish it all up later and stuff. So I'm gonna get under here and chuck a mark. You might not be able to see much, but I hope you can see this little speck of light right here. That's my hole that I'm going to put a machine screw through. I think it's called a machine screw. One of those Allen head things that I've been using all over the place on this and on the bomb truck. Right, pull it all back out again. That was violent. Uh-oh. I may have just damaged that. We'll find out. I think I might have just tweaked it up that little bit too much and pulled it in. No, she's good. Surprise. Right. I'll put it all back in again. Right, progress. Okay, we have this all bolted into place now. Still got this Scody little bit of rubber sleeve on there. I'm going to see if I can find something better than that. Maybe some nice clamps that can just kind of clamp it in place and seal it a little bit. Keep the engine bay fumes, or if there is any, there shouldn't be, out of the inside of the car. Yeah, so got that bolted in down there. The hole I need to make a little bit bigger in the fender. It's a little bit snug, so I haven't tightened it all the way up because I didn't want to damage any threads and stuff. So when I take it all apart, I've made a note I need to drill the hole in this a little bit bigger. But that's one side done, so now make up some brackets for that side. In theory, should be easier. Famous last words. Alright, let's have a look. Hey guys, well, it's a couple of days later since I was last on this heater ducting project on the Area 51. All I really had to do was just make a couple of little kind of clamps just to kind of help mount it up onto the inner guards to sort of finish the general fabrication side of it. And yeah, just sort of weld those on, put some rivet nuts in and screw them in place. So there we have it. So that's my cold air and ducting things. They may still get covered up yet with other bits and pieces. Obviously we might still be able to get a battery in here, and we're going to have air filter things and power steering reservoir, overflow bottle. We've all kind of got to come into here somewhere. Not really sure where everything's going to go yet. That's why I'm just kind of roughing everything in place for now. So I'm not going to bother polishing all these up because they may change, they may not, but yeah, we shall see. At this point, that's where they're going to stay. And that one, yeah, may be able to fit a battery in above there. Maybe not, maybe the battery will go in the boot, but either way, there's going to be some other stuff put in here. Still want to put some of the Creature Comforts washer squirter bottle somewhere, maybe. That could be tucked in up the back, I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get that far. Hence the all the kind of not finishing in everything yet. I just want to see if I can fit everything in and make sure everything that goes in there is going to go in there and will fit in there before I kind of do the final, you know, polish these up and make everything look pretty and stuff. There's no point doing all of that, only to discover I have to cut it up and re-weld it and change it around later on, sort of thing. That's my thinking anyway, and as you can see by the look on my face, I'm really happy with the result. Okay, that's where we're going to leave it for this video. Ta-da! On the Area 51 project air intake things for the cabin sort of thing. Took a lot longer than I thought it would, but just trying to nut out those curves and stuff, and still managed to cock it up a little bit, but that's alright. That's part of the learning curve. If you like this video, you want to see some more updates on the Area 51 project, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That would be really awesome. Like, share, comment. Until next time, we'll take it easy. Peace.